In the grand, sweeping story of humanity, some tales shine brighter than others. They are legends, etched into the very bedrock of our world. And perhaps no story is more epic, more dramatic, than that of Rome. It begins not with a thunderclap, but with a whisper. A story of two brothers, Romulus and Remus, abandoned at birth and suckled by a she-wolf. A myth, you might say. But every myth holds a kernel of truth. This small settlement, huddled on 7 hills by the Tiber River, was a seed. A seed of ambition, of power, of a destiny that would one day hold the known world in its grasp. Imagine that fledgling village, a patchwork of mud huts surrounded by rivals. Its people were farmers, shepherds, outcasts. They were not born to rule, they had to learn. They fought to survive. Each victory hardened them. Each defeat taught them. In this crucible, the Roman character was forged. Resilience, loyalty, and a drive not just to endure, but to conquer. The legend of Romulus slaying his brother is a dark omen. It tells us something profound: pursuit of power and order, often brutal, uncompromising. The will of one, for the good of the whole, would prevail. Single-minded focus became the engine of growth, a legacy of boundless ambition. After generations under kings, the people of Rome chose their own fate. They cast out their last king and declared a new way. A republic, res publica, the public thing. Power shared among citizens, represented by elected officials and a powerful senate. A radical system of checks and balances. Consuls led, but only for a year. Assemblies gave voice to plebeians who fought and won rights over centuries. That tension created a resilient society. Rome was no debating club, it was forged in constant warfare. War after war. Etruscans, Samnites, the Greek cities to the south. Each victory brought lands, resources, and new peoples. And Rome bound them with alliances and citizenship, sinking roots deeper and wider. Rome became the heart of a confederation, the undisputed master of Italy. But greater tests lay beyond the sea. A rival power watched: Carthage. If the Republic was the mind of Rome, then the legions were its fists. Formidable, disciplined, professionals, citizen soldiers devoted to the state. Masters of logistics, engineers, and relentless warriors. When the Aquila rose, you faced more than an army, you faced an idea. Order, discipline, implacable will. The legion was a marvel of organization, divided into cohorts into centuries, led by grizzled centurions who enforced brutal discipline and inspired loyalty. Armed with the gladius, the pilum, the scutum, shield to shield, the testudo made them nearly invincible. Their greatest power, building as they conquered. This machine met its ultimate test against Carthage. Hannibal dealt Rome crushing defeats, most famously at Cannae. Lesser powers would sue for peace. Rome raised new legions and then more. They took the fight to Carthage under Scipio Africanus, and made the Mediterranean Rome's lake. The legions had made it so. Rome's power was written in stone and mortar, structures that still awe us. They perfected the arch, the vault, the dome, and wielded a secret weapon: concrete. Gravity-fed rivers of stone brought clean water to bustling cities, baths, fountains, sanitation. From Britain to Syria, forums, temples, theaters, amphitheaters, beacons of Roman life. The Colosseum, imperial authority on display, spectacle, and often brutality. As Rome's power grew, so did the ambition of its leaders. None more brilliant, charismatic, or ambitious than Gaius Julius Caesar. His conquest of Gaul made him a hero. His legions were fiercely loyal. Ordered to disband, he faced a choice: obey or defy and spark civil war. At the Rubicon, he decided, the die is cast. He marched on Rome. Speed, audacity, and veteran loyalty won battles, from Spain to Egypt. And he returned master of Rome. Made dictator for life, he reformed the calendar, settled veterans, extended citizenship. But his power threatened the Republic. On the Ides of March, they killed him. They thought they saved liberty. They were wrong. His death paved the way for an emperor. Out of chaos, Caesar's heir emerged: Octavian. He learned from Caesar, cloaked power and tradition, called himself Princeps, first citizen. He became Augustus. He ended the civil wars. The Pax Romana, 2 centuries of relative peace. Legions guarded the frontiers, the Rhine, the Danube, the deserts of the east. Goods moved, people moved, ideas moved, along roads and across sea lanes. From Scotland to Iraq, cities flourished, literature and the arts thrived. Law bound diverse peoples. For many, stability, security, prosperity, an age of gold, and an age of iron. Peace was real but fragile, dependent on the man on the throne. No empire lasts forever. The 3rd century cracked the facade. Barracks emperors rose and fell, civil wars tore the state. While Rome fought itself, enemies pressed in, north and east. Armies swelled, currency debased, trade broke, cities shrank, plague killed millions. To hold it together, emperors centralized and divided the empire east and west, a practical fix that became permanent. Amid upheaval, Christianity spread. Constantine converted and favored the new faith, a monumental shift in Rome's identity. The East, wealthier, more populous, defensible, endured as Byzantium for 1,000 years. The West, poorer, less urbanized, faced waves of migrations. In 410, Rome was sacked, the first time in 8 centuries. The magic was gone. Citizen legions faded, mercenaries rose, generals pulled the strings, province by province the West bled out. In 476, Odoacer deposed a boy named Romulus Augustulus and sent the imperial insignia east. The Western Empire was gone. Though the West fell, Rome never vanished. It lives on, in the fabric of our world. We hear it in language: French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Romanian, children of Latin. Even English brims with Latin words: law and justice, the republic, the Senate, citizenship, the idea that law stands above rulers. Our calendar bears their names and order, their engineering endures. The dream of a peaceful, prosperous continent echoes the Pax Romana, but Rome warns of overexpansion, corruption, and civil war, how inequality and unrest can break a society from within. The Romans believed they were eternal, yet time is relentless, from a village to the world and back to dust. But its spirit and ideas scattered like seeds, taking root and shaping humanity to this day.